Mr. Legier, I understand you've made commitments to continuing the Lifeline program. You used the word "I will honor" just a few minutes ago. T-Mobile began withdrawing from the program in 2014 and no longer provides Lifeline services today. This service is extremely important where connectivity is basically required to survive, both economically and when it comes to safety and education, et cetera. What's your commitment to Lifeline, and how long do you intend to continue offering Lifeline services should this merger go through? And when you say you will honor, are you talking about the current CEO, Leger, or are you talking about the new T-Mobile will commit to that in writing and make it real beyond your tenure?
The person and the new T-Mobile will put in writing and commit to honoring the Lifeline agreements that Sprint through Assurance has. And I would point out that T-Mobile didn't withdraw from the Lifeline market. We moved to being a wholesale provider of it. But yes, the commitment is from the new T-Mobile, and very willing to put it into any form.
Well, thank you for clarifying. I wouldn't want to mischaracterize your business practices, but when you look at Mr. Claure, his Sprint is more robustly involved in the Lifeline program. What I would love to see is a future, if this merger goes through, a future organization, the new T-Mobile, as some people are calling it, to actually be more like Sprint. So, Mr. Claure, what would the new T-Mobile have to do in order to adopt and expand on what you've been able to do with your company?
Thank you for the question. The new T-Mobile has made a commitment, and they've done it in writing, and we've taken one step above what was required from us, and that is make a voluntary filing to the FCC that includes Lifeline. Nobody asked us to do that. We thought it was the right thing to do to take one step.
On that point, is the new T-Mobile willing to do exactly what Mr. Claure just described? Should this merger go through?
Let me add one quick thing, and that is, we always got to look at, yes, Mr. Leger is the CEO, and there will be a new T-Mobile. But what is important to know is the new network we're going to build is going to have 8 times the capacity that we have today. So therefore, we have an economic incentive to bring as many customers as we can, whether they're Lifeline, whether they're prepaid, or they're postpaid. So yes, we make commitments, but in addition, we have an incentive to do that just to fulfill our business plan.
Now, my question to you, Mr. Legier, about following suit with what Sprint has done to actually file a commitment in writing. Is the new T-Mobile ready to do that?
Yeah, just the clarification, sir. It was me that made the filing on behalf of the new T-Mobile. And I want to reiterate, we're merging with Sprint. Sprint's not going away. So all of the good characteristics and behaviors of Sprint we're adopting into the new T-Mobile, and this is one of them. And I will make the commitment in Lifeline in whatever form is needed.
Mr. Barenbroek, are you familiar with that submission in writing that they're referring to?
Yes, sir, I am.
Is it what I seem to be describing, or is it a little bit less nuanced than that? And what is it?
It's heavily caveated,
there you go.
sir. And like many of the commitments that we've seen here today, I think Congresswoman Clark asked questions about Lifeline too, and the commitments were to honor existing commitments. There were no commitments to honor participation in the Lifeline program as the combined company going forward. Ms. Bennett has spoken about the high cost likely going up for roaming partners and in the MVNO market. That is a huge problem for Lifeline subscribers who may see costs go up and the commitments of these companies go down. Those issues all do need to be explored.
And another thing, look, Mr. Legier, I've heard a lot of wonderful things about you and how you've really changed in a positive way T-Mobile. I commend you for that. American business. Also, Mr. Claure, I followed your career as well. One of you guys wears tennis shoes, the other guys wear hard shoes to work. Apparently, the tennis shoes guy is going to stick around as a CEO, likely, and then the hard shoes guy is going to probably remain on the board because of the shares that Sprint has or what have you. But what I've found when it comes to Lifeline specifically, I like the hard shoes guy and what he's been doing as CEO rather than the tennis shoes guy. So what are we gonna expect to see from the new T-Mobile when it comes to really adhering to this opportunity when you very clearly pointed out the market share opportunity for the new T-Mobile is going to be amazing, especially when it comes to your positioning to be able to provide 5G, which is the future of any provider.
Yes, sir. I can only reiterate the new T-Mobile's commitment to Lifeline, and I will follow up in any form necessary after this hearing to make sure that that commitment is clear.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.